So our final talk of the day will be given by David Kim. He's going to talk about how Ethereum Classic can unleash and drive innovation in DeFi through its proof-of-work consensus mechanism. So David Kim works as a proof-of-work ecosystem manager at Bitmain, and he's also a contributor to the Ethereum Classic Grants DAO. He has vast experience in DeFi, quantitative trading, and financial engineering. So let's welcome David.
Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Kim, and I'm from Seoul, South Korea, and I'm currently work at Bitmain as a proof-of-work ecosystem manager. And let me briefly talk about my previous experience before I joined Bitmain. So I studied math, econ, financial engineering. So I used to work in the DeFi trading space for 4 years because I found it quite relevant to my academic background. And leveraging those previous experience, I joined Bitmain, and my main job has been support the ETC ecosystem, especially with a focus on DeFi. And through which I've been working with the ETC cooperative colleagues, including Bob Somerville. And so I'd like to thank Bob Somerville, ETC cooperative colleagues, and Litecoin Foundation for inviting me to this wonderful and wonderful conference, especially as a speaker, because I found most of the other speakers have in-depth expertise and experience in proof of work, which cannot be compared to mine, because I just happened to be I was just a young DeFi degen who happened to be in the proof of work space only after I joined Bitmain. Because when I was in the DeFi trading space, I was longing for ETH merge because I believe that it would drive down the transaction cost at the time. Yeah, so again, I really thank the host of this event for this wonderful event. And my talk will be about unlocking the DeFi potential of the ETC DeFi ecosystem. And it will not be any technical narrative, because all those technical details have been thoroughly discussed by Donald McIntyre, because most of my basic knowledge about ETC come from reading his articles on the ETC corporate. Yes, thank you, Donald McIntyre. And I will make it short and concise as possible. I know it must have been a really long day for all of you. It's going to be the last session in this stage. So, okay, let's start. My first step would be going through what is the identity of ETC and what kind of values have been pursued by the ETC. I found it quite non-trivial, because still there are so many people believing with huge misconception about ETC. For example, still many people around me who are still in the blockchain industry, they still believe the ETC as a fork of ETH, which is totally not true. So I found it really indispensable part of the conversation for today's session. So yeah, let me start. So ETC pursues the original Ethereum vision, keeping the principle of the code is law. And its fundamentals are based upon the proof of work mechanism, which ensures robust security and network consensus. And also, ETC has a fixed supply model, which offers a more predictable monetary policy, just like Bitcoin. But how it differs from Bitcoin, it has a fifthing, not a halving, which happens every 2 years, almost 2 years. And the most recent one was in June this year. And lastly, it has smart contract capabilities, which enables creation and executions of more complex and programmable activities on chain, rather than just a mere peer-to-peer transactions. And all of those features have led ETCs to make sure that the network itself is secure, economically sound, and rich in possibilities for users and developers altogether. So it has grown as the largest proof of work smart contract blockchain platform, just like Donald emphasized. And a lot of ETC enthusiasts and community members, including myself, the way we understand ETC is like ETC equals ETH plus Bitcoin, because it resembles the ETH technological innovation, like smart contract, while preserving the philosophical tributes like network security and sound economic model. So it engendered a platform that marries the best aspects of the first and second generation blockchains, Bitcoin and Ethereum. And of course, the core of ETC is Ethereum is EVM, the Ethereum virtual machines, which engenders versatile functionality to the ecosystem. And this slide stipulates some aspects of the EVM, decentralized computing environment, which offers a global and open source environment for the dApps especially, and smart contract execution, which enables more complex and programmable activities possible on chain rather than just a mere peer-to-peer transaction. And train completeness, which solves any computational problem given enough resources. And gas system, which adopts a transaction fee mechanism to allocate resources on the network. And isolation, like it runs nodes on a completely isolated environment. And compatible standards, which allows a wide range of dApps, or decentralized applications, and interoperable projects. So it's the values that we could get from the EVM. And ETC is for sure EVM compatible. And then I'd like to move on to the history of ETC. Especially, I'd like to compare what had happened before the merge, when ETH transitioned to the POS, and what has been happening after the merge, because the merge event itself laid a strong foundation for potential mass adoption of ETC. So it's really important to go through this step. So let me quickly go through the brief ETC history. So Ethereum was launched in 2015, and a year later, the DAO raised like 150 million-ish fund, but which part of it were hacked, right? If I recall correctly, like 60 million were stolen in ETH, and which led to a heated controversy over whether we should do a hard fork. And ETC stood against the hard fork, and that's how we split against. But still, yeah, ETC was the original ETH. And yeah, in 2022, the merge happened. So before the merge, most of the GPU miners were still mining ETH. So ETC, the hash rate was not stable, so it has suffered a few 51% attacks. And the current ETC builders told me that at the time, even though they were following up with the ETC, but they were reluctant to build something or start anything on ETC because the network security wasn't guaranteed at all. But now they are building something on the ETC. So, and after the merge, since ETH transitioned to the proof of stake in 2022, many GPU miners migrated to the ETC, increasing the total network hash rate. But what's even more important about this situation was async miners, represented by current employer, Bitmain, entered this ETC mining industry, which further accelerated the growth of the hash rate overall. So those kind of events have equipped ETC network with being able to a larger network with more confirmation. But then what we should be attentive to is, so Bitmain did not just stop at just producing async miners. We wanted to take more active role in this in fostering the ETC network, and we want to take more aggressive initiative to foster mature development of ETC, because we believe that ETC will be a leading platform in proof of work. Bitmain is a company, it's a for-profit, and we see a huge market potential for ETC. So that's why it will translate into the inception of ETC Grand Style, which I'm part of, that I will be talking about shortly. So now what is happening in ETC? So basically what has been happening after the merge, especially how the ETC Grand Style got into the place. And this part will be more like a showcase how ETC Grand Style has contributed to the ETC ecosystem, and how we have attempted to position ETC as a proof of work haven for future DeFi innovations. So the ETC Grand Style was established in 2022, along with the merge event. And it was based upon the partnership between ETC Cooperative and Bitmain. And Bitmain committed like 10 million of funds to support this initiative, and also ETC Cooperative committed 250K of funds to support the first round of grants. And so ETC Grand Style aims to be a community-centric initiative that supports and funds any project that can contribute to a mature development of ETC ecosystem. And ETC Cooperative represents the community-driven interest, and Bitmain represent industry-side interest. And both parties gather together in expectations of generating synergy between those two separate sectors, so that we could collectively drive mature development of ETC ecosystem. So far, we have proceeded with the first round of grants, along with some other additional special grants program, with a focus on fostering the infrastructure, core infrastructure. And we have taken many approaches, and one of which is like active engagement with other proof of work communities. So we should acknowledge that ETC community has been relatively isolated from the rest of the proof of work community, probably because it is so decentralized that we do not have any centralized entity like Ethereum or L2 Foundation that give us like directions or guides to the ecosystem. But then we recognized a strong need to further interact with the rest of the proof of work community, as long as we believe in the true values of proof of work, so that we can bring in more talented developers or innovation to the ecosystem. So in that regard, I really appreciate the ETC Cooperative's initiative on hosting proof of work summit, through which we could get to interact with other like proof of work community. And so continuing on that, Bitmain has been trying to like put more resources to set up some sort of venues or conferences or like meetups through which ETC community can further facilitate those like kind of interbreeding with others. And one of which would be the World Digital Mining Summit hosted by Bitmain in June in Las Vegas, where we invited some of ETC builders to give us some sort of like a panel discussion, and along with some networking session at the venue. And then the second approach was to build the protocol parity, that means so that we could fill in those previously unoccupied, previously empty spaces before the merge, because every builder was so reluctant to build something on ETC because the hash rate was not stable enough. So we've been trying to get like existing or successful project and protocols to onboard with ETC, so that we could make the ETC on par with other EVM compatible chains, especially with a focus on like core infrastructure and technological offerings. And main focus has been around like supporting stablecoins, bridges, and oracles. So protocol parity, bridges, and oracle. So previously, most of the trading activities on the ETC network were severely dependent on the values of ETC, because there were no stablecoin, there were no oracle that could enable like the interaction with other blockchain. So most of the trading pair that we could do on ETC was like a ETC paired with the some other ETC native governance tokens, which is not attractive to those non-ETC native traders or individual traders. So we thought that it is important to bring more tradable asset onto the network. So that's why via the first grant program, we funded the cross-chain bridge project that happened to successfully deploy bridge Bitcoin, bridge ETH, and bridge Tether on the ETC network. And also, previously, most of the trading vehicle were like just simple constant product market makers. But then we wanted to see more diversified financial product available on the network, so which requires Oracle. So we ended up funding another project that gives more possibility for collect any more complex products that might involve some sort of like a Oracle communications. And then proto-parity native stablecoins. So even though we had bridged stablecoins, we still believe that in order for the network to be more self-sustainable, we should be less dependent on protocol. So we should decrease the risk of protocol dependency risk. So that's why we try to, apart from the first rounds of grants, we supported the development of 2 decentralized ETC native stablecoin, and those are, and also apart from our grants program, recently there was an effort to deploy a fiat-backed stablecoin by ETC Swap. So now ETC has a variety of stablecoin choice, and all of them are listed on the different DEXs. That means we have tons of like arbitrage opportunity that can lead to more on-chain trading activities. So before the introduction of ETC native stablecoins, most of the variation in TVL on ETC were heavily driven by the value of the ETC. But now we see less volatility in the TVL. I know that the market has been going down for the time being, but still we see less type of volatility, and I hope to see a stable and steady upward trend in the TVL of ETC. And now also the trading markets. So ETC Swap recently introduced the concentrated liquidity against just a mere constant product market makers, which make trading more capital efficient. And also now we can short or long on ETC or something based on your own portfolio management or risk management needs with leverage. Also the prediction market, even though this project is still in its beta phase, but still, like, yeah, I look forward to its mainnet launch in the near future. So our last step is beyond the protocol parity. We should foster ETC specific innovation that we don't see in other blockchains, and I think it is still possible, and it's really likely to happen in the near future because first, ETC, unlike other like L2 token like Arbitrum or Optimism, its market cap is several billions, and it is listed on the most major like exchanges. So which makes ETC a really good choice of collateral, which will be used in many applications of DeFi products. And also, it can work as a proof of work haven for truly decentralized protocols. I mean, like builders can be as much experimental as possible on ETH. They can try anything, and then take the best part of it and start building that on ETC, which is immutable, right? So they can start with a clean slate after a series of experiments on other chains. Yeah, and also a lost gas fee, which means, I mean, I was so surprised to see that ETC, even though it was a proof of work, has that low gas fee. Because before I joined Bitmain, I was in DeFi trading. I mainly used ETH and some other L2, but still, ETC is more affordable than those chains. So I think I see a bright future in ETC, and I hope that ETC Grand Style and ETC Cooperative will do a key role in driving that innovations. And thank you. And this concludes my presentation. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Who mines ETC mostly? Is it big corporate miners or is it individuals at home? What's the breakdown?
I'm not in a good position to disclose because
From public information.
from I'll say a high net worth individual. Yeah, from my understanding, from my knowledge, there's no institutional entity mining ETC.
I would say there is no large scale. So I'm a miner myself, doing that at home. It's like ASICs and so on. Started with GPU, started even on ETH, earning like some bits of it. And yeah, so there's no public knowledge. I do have a site. I do not want to advertise. Let's keep it out of here. I will show you that.
Yeah.
Any other questions? If not, well, thank you very much. That
Thank you.
concludes the community stage.